They told me to change my last name because I was never
Why?
going to work. At the time, siblings were cursed. If you were a Travolta, or if you were, if you were a sibling of a successful star, they supposedly did not take you seriously. This was at a time where TV actors were also not considered serious actors. Feature
Wow.
film actors, theater actors were serious. TV, we were the riffraff, right? And
Right.
commercials, we were the riffraff. So this is at a time where what also was the stigma was if you had an older sibling already in the industry. And I said, no, I'm not changing my last name. That's my father's name. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
were like, okay, well, good luck. I said, well, they're just going to have to get over the fact that I'm a Pfeiffer and, but I'm different. They're
Dystopia tonight. Dystopia tonight.
Thank you for doing this because I feel like it's crazy. Like the first time we ever met was on the MS benefit. So like I got to talk to you a little bit there about some stuff and about your career and about everything. But I also then I had you on the second one, and we've never done a regular episode, so I didn't get to do I know.
we've only met on the, okay, that makes sense. Because I was
Yeah.
thinking, I don't remember doing a show before, but I
Yeah.
don't really remember my
Well,
name
that was the
anymore.
thing. That was the thing. I think we were supposed to whoever because oh god, I can't think of the guy's name who recommended you for the MS benefit. But we were also like, okay, great, because sometimes it works out that way where the benefit does come up, and when you're talking about people and you're trying to get guests or whatever, someone will recommend somebody, and we are like, great, but we love her for an episode too. And I don't know why, but that never. But we stayed in touch anyway. So
Oh, yeah, on Instagram. And then we met when you were so sweet and you came to visit me at the
yeah, Parsippany.
Parsippany,
Hmm.
that place, which I never heard before, on the East Coast. And I went and you were like, oh, I know where that's at. Hey, I'll come say hi. And I'm like, oh, okay. I have no idea. I jumped on a plane and went to that autograph convention, which was super fun,
Yeah,
chiller. And you showed
that
up
was
and we
awesome.
finally met. And you know who else I met was Donna Drake, who also
Oh.
interviewed. Yep. Donna, who had interviewed me on her show. And we kept on Instagram as well. And
Nice.
then Michelle Mupo on Mupo and Friends. So three of you East
Oh,
Coasters in that one parsimony part, that place
Parsippany.
with the
Yep.
yep, you say well. Um that chiller, the autograph convention, y'all came and said hi. So I actually got to meet you all. So it was so
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, because I kind of felt
That
like I
was a
knew you all.
blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, East Coasters show up. We show up when our friends are in town. We're like, oh, let's.
Clearly,
Yeah.
clearly. I was like kind of shocked y'all showed up. Like
It
they
was
said they weren't.
great. It was great to finally meet you in person, but that was a cool experience because you were you had a line fucking, going there was a certain point where I was like, "Oh, I will not be able to talk to DeDee for the next 2 hours." Like I was like, "I'm going to go."
Because I talked to each one and kept them in line for a long time to make it look
Yeah.
like, because you got to make it look like your signature is worth about $35.
Oh
Well,
god,
the Playboy
absolutely.
is also I have Playboys. There's naked pictures of yourself on the table. You tend to get a lot of people in line. If anything,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
looking,
You
they're
know what?
shopping.
It's here's what I love. Yeah, absolutely. And here's what I love. You when you were looking at that line, you could totally tell the dudes who were Supernatural fans or
Yeah,
Seinfeld or all your other or your
Sam.
the couple. Yep. And then
Yeah.
vamp and then you could also tell the dudes who just have never had a woman touch them, and they were Playboy holding their, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, okay, okay. So she knows. She can tell immediately which ones are weird.
And you know something though? Can I give credit where I feel
Sure.
credit is due? Meaning that it's very brave of people to come up to anybody, let alone a celebrity. And if, like you said, they're not the most social person and tend to be introverted or shy, to get up off your ass and go in a table and then ask them for their autograph or anything like that. It
Yeah.
takes courage, and I just wanna shout out that, because I think for people you and me are extroverts, that might be easier for us. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm kinda not. It took me all day to say hello to William Shatner because he was there, and I was so starstruck like a fool, and then, of
Yeah.
course, I was an idiot in front of myself when I finally went
Oh
over to
my
say
god.
hi to him, so I get it. So when they were waiting in line and, like you said, they, are not the most extroverted people. I'm like, hey, that's why I treat them all with love and kindness and compassion, shake their
Sure.
hand, look me in the eye, and be like, hey, what's your name, John? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. A
And
little
that's
awkward.
so
I'm
like
my naked ass for you, but hey, it's a little awkward. Hey,
you're like, you
life
have
is
fun with it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You're like, you have fun with this later. Don't ruin it.
it's all
And then
you boo.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're like, I don't need to know. No, it is fan culture is like one of the coolest things sometimes because like they sometimes I mean sometimes it can be one of the creepiest things, crazy things. There's always a dark side to stuff. But if the positives are like they get shit made that maybe no one else would think to get made, or they show up to a convention and stuff like that, like they're very appreciative. So there's always that weird, like even for us, like you just said, you went up to William Shatner and you felt like it was a awkward exchange. I mean, like there is no I'm always in my head about
Yeah,
like when I meet somebody or whatever it is. Like it's weird because it's not with I don't know if it's the same with you with like people you've worked with before, you just don't see them as like whatever until you see them in public around there. So I'm sure that's the same thing with you when people see you around your fan base. You're like, holy fucking shit. Like we were just doing a movie together, but that's like these, that's DeDee Pfeiffer. You know what I mean? Like, but with comedians, I don't usually get like that because I've just seen them, whatever. But around like musicians and actors and stuff like that, that I've like watched, like in the back of my head, I'm always like, I can't believe they're fucking talking to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like one of those things where like, it's like, you're like, don't say anything dumb and like, don't be, just stay focused or whatever. Like even at the convention, um, oh my God, Mark Lynn
oh,
Baker.
chips.
No, 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 Mark Lynn Baker was there, from, Perfect Strangers.
Okay,
Yeah, I remember
I
that show?
yeah,
And, like
no, yeah. I can't lie, I'm sober, dude. You know I'm 5 years sober. I wanna lie right now, and I can't. I'm sorry, no, I have not. And not that
No,
I'm sure amazing show and Mark is probably brilliant in it. I just never saw
it's
you know, I missed a lot of things in my life. Okay,
no,
John, so
it's
when I say I
it
never saw it, there's a damn good reason. There was a
no.
bar, drink waiting for me at happy hour, and I knew the bartender, so that meant 2, which is very
Oh,
made me very happy when I was drinking.
nice. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, it's a show from the '80s. It's one of those. I mean, it was like the I can't Mark Lynn Baker, and I can't remember the other guy's name, which sucks. I'm bad at that. But anyway, so Mark Lynn was there, and then he's friends with Lewis Black. I know Lewis, but I like it took me. I was like circling like some fucking because I was like, just go up and just be like, hey man, whatever, and then by the time I did it, he was nice as can be. Like it was a totally fine interaction. And then that fire alarm, like whatever it was, somebody pulled the fire alarm, and we were all
Yeah.
walking out together. And I was like, "That's." Do you text? You were like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I was like, "I don't know." Like,
Awkward. Yeah, it was awkward because you're sitting there with all your pictures at the table, and then all of a sudden these alarms go off, and there was how many people there? There's a shitload of people
oh
and
my god,
celebrities. We all just went outside and just stood there
it was
looking at each
crazy.
other. Like, oh, this is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, no, absolutely. So let me ask you this. I'm gonna get into so like I obviously know like your filmography and when I just don't know like is this because you come from like an acting like your acting family and all that other stuff too, but like and you went to high school, like, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of have, like, that performing, like, arts kinda, like, central vibe, like, you grew up in California, like, that kinda thing. But, like, is this what you always wanted to do? Did you have another passion when you were younger? Like, what was the trajectory?
actoring, actoring. Now I'm not quite sure why I'm making words now. Um, acting. Was the last thing in any of our minds growing up because we're just a small family down in Orange County, of humble
Mhm,
means and what seriously. So when my sister went in a beauty pageant contest and won Miss Orange County,
Right.
was discovered by a photographer, I think, and then a commercial agent. And that's how she got into the business. So we were sitting back going, huh? That's crazy. It was no one more blown away than we were. So she then was doing, so off she went, right? And remember, this was back when there was no VCRs or recordings or anything. So when Shell was like on TV, for her first line was it was a Max Factor commercial, or it was Who's That Man on Fantasy Island, actually, I think.
Oh,
For
wow.
you right in front of the TV in the rumpus room with all of my family and friends, and you blinked or ran out to go get some, soda, you missed it. And that was it.
Right.
You never saw it. You missed it. So it was a
Right.
whole different time then. So there was also this excitement. Not only that you didn't run out to go pee and you missed it because, boy, that was really shitty. Now you miss something, you'll figure it out, right? You'll find it somewhere.
Yeah.
But you better been right in front of that TV, and it better get all that snow. It better not all of a sudden the rabbit ears not work. So she started that way. And then when I was 18, I just thought at that point I had worked since I was like 13 or 12 or something like that. Every job you can imagine. Dancing in the Disneyland parade. I used to make dried floral arrangements. I illegally cocktailed at the female oil and mud wrestler place called Hollywood Tropicana. Illegally. I was not 21. Thank you. House girl at a Mexican food restaurant down this very busy boulevard in Orange County, Beach Boulevard, in a Mexican food dress, little puffy sleeve, and this cute thing. And I was on my bicycle, that's how young I was, pedaling down Beach Boulevard to go bus tables. What else? I delivered radiators at a radiator company as a woman. They did not like that. I got harassed actually a lot. There was no such Me Too movement then. But I just kind of went where the work was just to make money. And at 18, I was like, well, damn, what am I supposed to do? So Shell was doing Scarface. So I thought, hey, I'll just try this thing called acting. What the hell?
Right. Yeah.
And then I'll do it like everything else and do something else. But I always wanted to work with animals, or believe it or not, I wanted to be a clothes designer. I wanted to do hair, which is funny because I've always had hair issues. But I'm going to get it colored actually very soon. You'll be the first one to see, I'm sure, because you follow me on Instagram. Yeah, I'm going to get it colored. I'm going to rock it out. I gotta get a job, dude. So anyways, it was like, well, I'll try it. So I moved up to LA, and she said, well, before you get headshots, before you try getting an agent, before you try doing any of that nonsense, this is before pagers, before cell phones. Mind you, this is 1982. She said, get your ass into a really good acting workshop and then see if you really like it. So I did. I was horrible. I was stuttering. I couldn't remember my lines. It was the most expensive class. So that's where I was illegally caught-tailing at the mud wrestling joint, and drinks because it was really expensive. My rent was expensive. Well, the rent was cheap back then. But I was driving my Volkswagen, and I think I had a couple rescue cats and stuff. So anyways, I stumbled upon it really because honestly, I figured if I could get good at it, if I could figure it out, then I'll let myself quit. I'm not going to give up just being shit. So I studied for 1 or 2 years before I actually went out and started auditioning. And I still was shit. I still would stutter and go up on my lines. And they're like, why are you sending this girl out here?
Right.
And, and they told me to change my last name because I was never going to work. At the time, siblings were cursed. If you were a Travolta, or if you were, if you were a sibling of a successful star, they supposedly did not take you seriously. This was at a time where TV actors were also not considered serious actors. Feature film actors, theater actors were serious. TV, we were the riffraff, right? In commercials, we were the riffraff. So this is at a time where what also was the stigma was if you had an older sibling already in the industry. And I said, no, I'm not changing my last name. That's my father's name. I'm not doing it. And they were like, oh, well, good luck. I said, well, they're just going to have to get over the fact that I'm a Pfeiffer and, but I'm different. They're going to constantly compare you to your sister. I said, well, good luck with that. Good luck, because we were as polar opposite as possible. But you know what they kept trying to do to me, John? They kept trying to turn me into her. They kept trying to make me a mini version of her. So I had a kind of a rocky road starting because I had to make my own niche in an industry that kept saying, we don't want you. We want to version and a cheaper version of your sister because I'm the affordable Pfeiffer. You can't, right? So when able to bust through that and get some goddamn work. And I started to work and I started to actually think, wait a minute, I think I can do this. Maybe I can do this. And honestly, what is it, 40 years later, 40 plus years later, I still don't know what I'm doing. I can't give it up until I figure it out. I don't think it's anything you ever really figure out because you have to
Right.
continue learning the craft, right?
Yeah. And that's something that I think is funny because on the outside of it, everybody always assumes you've got it figured out. And when you tell them you don't, they're like, "What? Like, how's that possible?" And it's like like it's always a crapshoot. You don't know what's going to happen. Even comedians bicker like no matter how long we've been doing it. Even if we know somebody like as a friend, we're always like we're like, I'm not going to follow her. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go up after that. They're going to kill. I'm going to be just straight. It's going to be terrible to
Yeah.
do that. So like it's always little bickering, even though you've got whatever, you've got specials, you've got movies, you got TV. It's just always a struggle.
The assumption is that my sister and I are competitive, not
Oh,
even
okay.
close.
Right.
And I have another sister. Yeah.
Mhm.
And she's younger. And she, again, is just, oh, I mean, don't get me wrong, Shell is beautiful. And then there's Lori. She's like this Pfeiffer that no one, she's the unicorn. And she's also beautiful. So I grew up with two beautiful sisters, but what radiates in them is their hearts. And we're very close.
Mhm.
And I have an older brother who's even more of a ghost in the family. Like, what do you mean you have a brother? Yeah, I have a brother. There's an older, but he's smart when he's the quiet one. He stays out of all the
Mhm.
drama.
Right.
Um, we're not competitive because we weren't brought up that way. We were actually brought up to take care of each other because we had an alcoholic father and a mother with mental illness. So Rick and
Yeah.
Shell very much raised Lori and I,
Mhm.
and then as you get older, you kind of help each other, and then we help raise each other. And it's not uncommon for a child of an alcoholic parent or with mental illness to bond with the siblings and become kind of like a family within a family.
That's
So
very sweet.
yeah, there's no room for competition. I'm not competitive with anybody actually at all.
I was gonna say, I
Um,
don't get that vibe from you, and anytime you've, like, I think you sent me a picture of, I don't know, it was around, the holidays, maybe, like, a year ago, but it was you and, both of your sisters, and they're, like, just from that one, like, whatever picture or whatever it was just, like, the vibe seemed, like, just very chill. You guys were
yeah.
kinda just kicking back, hanging out, so it's very nice.
I mean, don't
Do
get me
you
wrong, with they're very different.
Yeah, yeah, I
But
remember you
that
telling me a little.
oh yeah, I mean that's very common in families. We have
And
we have similar, and then we're also three sisters. Sometimes
yeah.
one of them says something, and I just go, "Oh, it just works." Trigger,
But
trigger.
also, I listened to your podcast episode, with Michelle, and it was very like it was like you guys just it was probably one of the most casual sibling, in the same industry conversations. It was very, very cool to hear. If you guys haven't heard that, check it out. It's Down with DeDee is DeDee's podcast, and she does a bunch of great interviews, but she does do one with her sister, and it's like I just felt like I was literally listening to just two family members who happen to be like on the inside. You know what I mean? Where I was like, "Oh my god, this is
Yeah.
such a cool conversation." Do you remember a certain point where like cuz you were telling me like a little bit you just said about like, acting classes for 2 years kind of struggling. Were you enjoying the struggle, or was there a point where you finally started to enjoy your craft and what you were doing? Like do you remember a time where you're like, "Oh, I really am having fun," like early on?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think your journey in acting is very much a roller coaster. When
Mhm.
I'm acting, when I'm able to nail a scene or nail a moment or discover something in a scene that even the writer didn't see and the other actor didn't see, and you discover it and you're able to capture that either on stage or on film, to me, that is the best part because guess who else gets to enjoy that and witness it? The audience. And they don't even know that that
Yeah,
was like an organic moment. And somehow they, I think, can pick up on that. Those are the moments I'm like, yeah, that's why I love what I do.
right.
Entertaining is, I love making people, feel things, whatever it might be. Primarily, I do love making people laugh because I think that laughter is healing and it's important.
Mhm.
Now, well, especially because there's a lot of sadness in the world right now. But
Yeah.
having said that, there's always room for drama. There's always room to like make you tear, right? Um,
Yeah.
but I think that it's a roller coaster because I remember early on when I was working, I was so happy. And when I wasn't working and auditioning and not getting roles, because remember, as an actor, you're told no far more than you're told yes,
Yeah.
unless you're in. less than 1% who are getting offered everything, right? I'm not in that percent. Hence the no furniture room. Um, my sister, well, can you get a couch? I'm like, no, that's extra. We don't need that. Just do squats. So, good for you. What about a kitchen table? That's what the counters are for. You sit on, as soon as you sit on the counters, put your big butt up there and you just eat. So,
Yeah. If there's anybody that I feel like that I've gotten to know in the last couple of years that could just roll with the punches or whatever's going on, it's definitely you. I mean, I feel like in both times I've talked to you and the MS benefit, something is kind of it was like writer's strike. And then I think
oh,
before that, you were dealing with like there was some kind of flooding in whatever area or whatever the fuck you were in. So it was just like,
yeah,
there was like a bit of a mix, a bit of
yeah.
each time I've talked to you, there's a little something going on.
There's always something going around, Miss Pfeiffer over here. But to answer your question, nothing slow. For me, when I'm not working, it's really difficult. And when I was younger, not to slip into some kind of depression or like, who am I? What am I doing? Oh God, I'm not making any money as well.
Right.
And am I going to work again? I must be shit. I'm not getting a gig. I mean, you really play a job on yourself. So one of the most important things to do is make sure you have some allies around you to remind you that you are talented, that you are worth a job, that
Yeah.
you're worthy. Right now, in particular, after the pandemic and the strike, right
Mhm.
now, almost every actress I know, and they're all amazing and beautiful and the whole thing, and they're all my competition, are out of work right now. Not
Right.
that I'm reading for shit and I'm not getting it. Now that could really do a job on me. Now, luckily I'm 60, so I'm like, I know better now. I can, and don't get me wrong, there's days I go, well, maybe it's just because I'm shit. Maybe I am just shit. Maybe I should do it. Maybe I need to
I
color
get
my
it.
hair. Yeah, and that there's nothing wrong with changing shit up. But the bottom line is it's hard to remain positive when everyone's telling you no, 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 no. And your bank account's getting smaller, 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 smaller. And
Sure.
so those times were always difficult for me, and I'm not gonna lie, they're still difficult for me, but I'm able to handle them differently. And
Mhm.
now, and my spiritual work and energy work and enlightenment work and all the stuff that I'm involved with really helps with you know what you put out, you get back. So I have to
Yeah.
say, you can sit here and wallow in this, DeDee, and that's the energy you're putting out, and that's what's going to come back at you.
Yeah.
Party of one over here,
Yeah.
or right, or how about why don't
No,
we
it's
have
true.
mantras that there's a job out there for me. I know in my heart there is. My soul tells me it just hasn't presented itself yet. So why don't you enjoy your life right now until that job comes and do things that are productive and
Yeah.
yeah, right?
But, like, how long did that come to you? I mean, like, because that's a great attitude, but I assume that took time over to figure out. Would you say it was, like, I don't know, is it still, I mean, I'm sure it's still an ongoing process because it is for me too, like, if I have it's so weird, and I don't know what makes a difference in this, but sometimes I'll have a gig where I'm like, "Man, that fucking sucked," right? You know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
I'll
Oh yeah.
know. Yeah, but I'll know. I'll be like, "Oh, that was totally me," or "That was the audio," or whatever it is, right? But then, I don't know, like, I'll be able to compartmentalize that, and I'll be like, "Okay, that's fine, I can place where it was." But then there's some where I'm like, "I'm a goddamn fraud. How have I been doing this long and I sucked that bad? You should be bagging groceries, you fucking loser." You know what I mean? Like, that's, like, what it goes on in
Oh,
your head,
yeah.
and I can never tell when that's gonna or what the difference is, in my brain. I just can't do it. But it happens. So, like, how
I've
long did
had
it, like
stinky performances. I call them stinky or stinky auditions, or like you said, where I just I see
well
something that comes back and I'm like, what was I thinking? Why did you hire me? Did you mean to get the girl behind me and I just got in front of her? What? How did we are our worst own critic, that's for sure. Right.
Oh,
But yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Well,
To
but
answer the question,
also
sober. Getting sober was a huge beginning of getting my shit together and the clarity in my thoughts, my
Oh, yeah.
mind, and my
But
soul. I had to clean up my whole, self first,
yeah.
rediscover authentic self. And that wasn't going to happen while I was active in my disease of alcoholism. Hell no. And even
Yeah.
after that, I took a year to quit smoking. Even that. was keeping me from, so when you don't smoke or drink or do all the stuff you used to do, that energy's got to go somewhere. And
Sure.
thank God, Mother Earth and the universe and all Mother Nature's beautiful things, because I blame everything on them. No. No. But thank the energy around us that I immediately started being drawn to this way of thinking and feeling. And I even went to Colombia for a week, and Dr. Joe Dispenza, meditation, and I'm not even sure what to call that, but it profoundly changed my life. That really kickstarted this whole journey of being in the now, connecting with higher level, not meditation to check out, but meditation to get to the pineal gland and go to places you've never been before. It sounds crazy. It sounds like you're on that ayahuasca. It's exactly like that, but without the drug. Without the drug. You do that without the drug.
I'm right there with you. I totally feel like that can be achieved without doing that kind of stuff. I feel like, I hope you don't mind me even talking about this kind of stuff either, because I know you've been through, like, you're actually in recovery, and I know I respect all that kind of stuff too. But it's funny to me because
oh, babe, I'm recovering out loud. Let's go.
It's one of those things where, like, and I joke around about this, but I just go, it's when comedians in general, when they start to get not as they get older, if something happens or whatever, and they're just not that good at what they do anymore, people are like, what happened to that guy? I'm like, oh, the drugs got to him. You know what I mean? He's whatever. And I'm like, I don't do any of that shit. So, like, when I finally start to really suck, people are gonna be like, what happened to him? And they're like, he just sucks now. I don't know. Like, he's just not that good.
No explanation.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I kind of maybe, that'd be kind of fun. Exactly.
That's when you go to your childhood and say, well, he never dealt with his fucked up childhood until he got older, and that's why he started sucking, because all the stuff started coming up and it made him not funny anymore.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Always a way not to be
but like, so like, yeah. So can you, like, just because we've talked about mental health before and everything, and we've talked about that kind of stuff. So, like, but there's a period in between your sobriety and your acting. Are you aware of, like, the judgment on yourself, and kind of like, you know, what it's like, you know what I mean? I want to say judgment, but like you said, performers are all kind of insecure. We're all going through some stuff or whatever. But like, in between that time, are you actively trying to work on it then? Or are you just like breezing through it, trying to get through life, trying to get the gig, trying to keep moving? Is that making sense? Am I making any sense?
Yeah, makes perfect sense. I'm going to say both.
Okay.
I think when you're younger, you just kind of you just do it and even if people are telling you, hey man, you're way too hard on yourself, get out of your own way, you kind of go, you don't know me, you don't know my story, you don't, and you brush people off because you feel like you have a right to have these feelings, and you're going to beat yourself up because it's kind of like it's a path that you're on. But I think at least for me, when the older I get, I'm getting exhausted of beating myself up. I'm exhausted from beating myself. So I start the process of beating the shit out of myself.
Yeah.
And thank God I do, because I also love doing random thoughts on my Instagram, and I often do them for selfish reasons. I do hope that they help other people, but I also do them so that in the hopes they bounce back at myself. So when I tell people, get out of your way, man, come on, you're okay, I'm hoping that it bounces back, and I listen to myself a little bit, because it's like, oh my God, are you going to spend the whole day doing this? And I literally have to get out of my own way. And that means I have to get up, just force myself to do something so my head, the thoughts stop.
Right.
Because it starts with the talk, the self-talk. It
Yeah.
starts with the thought. And if you know that, and I'm older now and I know that, actually this is my training. It's been not only my psych degree, but also my learned experience, my recovery, going to Joe in Colombia, do my random thoughts, hearing other people say the same thing. And I know it starts with our thoughts. I know it starts with our thoughts. And I'm a smart woman. I know that. And yet I fall for it all the time. And I go, yeah, but this is just a feeling. DeDee, you know it started with the a thought. So just guess what? Stop your thoughts and change your thoughts, and your feelings will follow. And I know that, but damn, it's hard. damn, it's hard.
It is hard. And also,
Yeah.
the one thing I can't seem to overcome, and my friends and I will talk about this all the time, and not necessarily that it's something to overcome, but like, I think the greatest thing you can do is what you just said, is when you can acknowledge the fact that you're in a bad place. You know what I mean? Like, I think the self-awareness of knowing that is extremely important. But I think sometimes what people on the outside don't really understand is that you're still feeling it. And you cannot necessarily change it. Like, you can outthink it and you can rationalize and go, okay, this is why I'm feeling this way. This is what I can do to make sure that I don't get in any deeper and I don't, take anybody with me, because that's always fun. But like,
Yeah.
but it's still a feeling, and it's still like you can maintain it during the day and you can kind of be, who you need to be around other people. But eventually, you go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and that feeling might be there again. So that's the thing I feel like people don't always quite understand, is like, it's really hard to control the emotion. And then I think that's why probably people like dip into substances sometimes too, because they're like, well, at least there's something on the outside that is chemically kicking my ass. You know what I mean? Or
Well,
doing whatever.
you're right, because it's easier to take a pill, take a toke, do whatever, take a drink, whatever, and
Yeah.
try to chase it away, drown it away, ignore
Yeah.
it, or what, numb out. And yet, at the end of the day, it's still waiting for you at the other end, and now
Yeah.
you feel even worse. But the
Right.
thing is, I think I'm a big believer that the feelings are not just there randomly; they're there from thoughts, and we're not mindful enough, we're not aware enough, we're not taught
Hmm.
to believe the truth that if you're still feeling something, that means your thoughts are still going. And that's when you have to go a little deeper, and we don't want to. We'd rather take a pill or take a drink or take a cigarette, or I was doing that
Hmm.
for a long time.
Sure.
But instead of doing things, say, well, wait a minute, what am I thinking and I'm not aware of it because I'm feeling this? Because you have to ask yourself, like a good attorney, okay, let's just say I'm feeling, I don't know, vulnerable.
Hmm.
Or actually, let's do this. Scared. Actually, I'm going to do a random thought right after this podcast about fear. Fear.
Okay,
It's a
great.
good one, right?
Yeah.
But fear is necessary in life to get the fuck out of the way of a car that's coming at you, right?
Hmm.
Or if your son throws something across the room and you have to dunk, that's fearful because you're like, right? So, not that that's ever happened,
Right.
but or Humane Coon is rolling off the counter because he doesn't know how long his body is, and you catch him in midair. But the thing is that
Yes.
I'm surprised he hasn't joined us yet. He'll
Oh.
come. But the fear, it's an emotion, it's a feeling, it's a whole thing, right? But it's
Hmm.
actually triggered for the most part by a thought, and the thought is, "Oh my god, I'm gonna get hit. Oh my god, I'm gonna get stabbed. Oh my god, I'm gonna get right." And
Yeah.
it's such a fleeting thought, you don't realize they go, "No, it's a reaction from what I saw." That's right. You saw it, and then what happened? Your brain said, "Be scared," and then you react. So if you're sitting there and there's nothing around you to uh, to be afraid of, and yet you have this fear
Hmm.
because you figured out that your anxiety, which is going crazy right now, when you pull it back, why am I so anxious right now? Why am I so anxious?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm future tripping. Why are you future tripping, DeDee? Oh, because I am afraid that I will never work again. Oh, so this is fear. So you have to keep going, peel that onion back, right? So the anxiety, I was able to trace back to of future tripping, not knowing what's going to happen in the future with my job, my financial stability, which is scary.
Yeah.
So now I'm talking about fear. So now I'm sitting here and I have to ask myself, like a good attorney, is that happening in this moment? You know what I mean? No. Can that phone ring in a minute and you'll get a job? Yeah.
Yeah.
Could it never ring? Yeah, that's true too. But now you're future tripping. You're future tripping. Pull back.
Yeah.
How is it right now in the moment? I don't know what's going to happen in 5 minutes from now, next week, or the week after a month. I could be back on a show. I could be unemployed for the rest of my life. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if fear is there because of a thought, which is future tripping, and right, then we do have control over at least that element of anxiety if it's triggered by fear. So then you're going to say, well, what is going on right now in my life? I have a dog right now who's sleeping and snoring. By the way, that is not me. It's my dog snoring. I have potty pads over there because she's old and she has mistakes. I have,
Aw.
you know what I mean? I look around my room in the moment and I see what I have, right?
Right.
And all of a sudden now I'm pulling back the tape and I'm not future tripping. I'm trying to
Hmm.
pull myself into the moment. And you know, a good one to do that, do 5 gratefuls. I'm grateful that
Ooh.
I'm on John's show now. I'm grateful that even though I don't like my hair color, I have some hair left on my head. Hey, okay, there's a start. I'm
Mhm.
grateful that my dog over here, oh, she's woke up, hasn't farted really loud yet because that'd be really embarrassing. So I'm seriously grateful about that one. I'm not joking. I am grateful. I'm going to look over here that I have a phone that works so I can call my sisters in on the west side because I know they miss me because I moved and I love them and I get to call them. I mean, I
Mhm.
can just go through the roof or my life. Oh, I have my health. You know, I mean, and if I'm still feeling that, do 5 more. You're still feeling
Nice.
it, do 5 more. If you're
Right.
still do, you know, and all of a sudden you pull yourself into the moment because I bet you have more you're grateful about than you remember because we forget because sometimes we take things for granted because
Yeah.
we just got to go with anxiety and that fear and future trip and not know
I
because
should have
we're
called you.
possibly
I should have called you last summer. I was not doing any of the work and I was like wildly depressed. Like I was like going through some shit with a, manager stuff and like, all, I made not a terrible decision, but you just sometimes you sign with the wrong people and they don't really understand you. And then, but I had that, like, I had that same thing where I was like, oh, you fucked up. And instead of being like, it can, like you just said, like it can change, you're not in this, look at what you have, look at what you done or whatever. I was like, I was just focused on how can you still be this stupid? And it was like this it was this endless, it was this end,
I'm only laughing because that's me too. I'm
oh,
like,
okay,
you
good.
know,
Yeah.
you're getting old. You know, you're not working, Dee because you know all these other actresses are blah blah
I'm
blah, and you're not. They have more followers than you, Dee. That's why you're
oh,
not working. It's whoa. I just go to the ugly, don't I? I just
no,
went to
yeah.
the
The
ugly.
the follower thing. That's the thing though, too. The follower thing and the social media shit, I think it fucks everybody up, whether you're in this, but like there's so many people that I know who are like, we're all trying to scramble to get whatever we can possibly get. And even the other day I was talking to a couple other comedians because we did this benefit show for a guy, who's doing a play and he needed money. So a few of the headliners, we wound up getting together to do a show for him. But we were all just kind of afterwards sitting and commiserating and talking about the same shit where I'm like, how much do you have to do? You know what I mean? Where I'm like, and I'm not like, I'm definitely not the type of person who sits around and starts listing like, like I don't care, but like it's just one of those things. Then you're presented with somebody who should not be giving you a hard time, and they're still giving you a hard time, and you're like, what in God's name? Like, what do you have to fucking do? You know what I mean? And then I don't know the answer to that. I'm not really sure what it is, but it's annoying. Gets
I
to you.
will. Can I give us all credit for those of us who are not of the younger generation where they grew up with social media and how to even turn the damn thing on and how to the algorithm the
Algorithm,
this is
yeah,
usually thank you. See, you must be a young buck.
I got
That
you.
who even knows how that means and knows how to tag people, knows how to do the hashtag thingies and the dollar sign or the number sign is what I call it, which is that's not I guess what you
Oh yeah,
say.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but
Pound.
those of us of the populations who did not grow up with it, and it's not firsthand knowledge for us or a set skill or what have you. It doesn't come easy for us, and yet we're trying. We're out
Yeah,
there. I'm out there to get more followers. But what I realized is that I wanted to get organic followers. I wanted people who really followed me for who have commonalities with me. They want to be part of the light, part of the solution. They, you
yeah.
know what I mean. We bounce each other. They say things. I go, ha ha ha. They're like, DeDee Pfeiffer, did you just respond to me? I'm like, yeah, it's me. And they're like, oh, you made my day. I'm like,
Yes.
wow, that was easy. Wow, that was
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of celebrities are scared. I get it because I have some people who are um, mentally not well.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And that is scary. I get that. I do. I come on, honey. I really get that. That's scary.
Yeah.
They know what you look like. You look like you. The whole thing.
Yeah.
And some people have some really mean things to me, and I'm telling you, it's painful. You're like
Sure.
doo being all nice, and someone goes, "You're just like a loser," and you're like, "Well, that hurt."
I know. Yeah.
Bless you.
Exactly. Oh, that
Not me.
was
That was my dog sneeze. That was a sneeze. We're talking about my dog's bodily functions.
my cat sneezes and he acts like someone did it to him. I don't know if your cat does the same thing. Like, I'm just like, what are you weird? He's like, what the, who the, and I'm
What?
like, dude, it was just you. Relax. Relax, my guy.
Well, our cat, I know what happened upstairs when he comes running down the stairs at 100 miles an hour. and looking back over, I'm like, oh Lord, that one's going to be an ugly one. That's going to be an ugly, stinky one. Because for some reason, the more ugly and stinky they are, the faster he runs out of the litter box. Like, I don't know who did that up there, but
Right.
it wasn't me. You have cat litter in your paws, in your tail. I know it was you. Lenny would never. Wow.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying it was Lenny. Lenny's got class. Morpheus. Thank you. And here comes my son running in. Thank you. Does he agree that Morpheus is a pig and blows up the upstairs? Look, she's rolling over. She didn't agree with that. You know he does. Yeah.
She's like, I don't do that. That's
You don't
ridiculous.
even like Morpheus. Why is she defending him?
She's like, the accusations right now. Did you have like a, because like, you know, again, comedians or whatever, like sometimes we have like a class we come up with or like a crew that we'll kind of like see and hang out. Did you have that when you started?
I didn't, and I think a lot of it had to do with, remember, it was 1982 when I first started.
Yeah.
It was 84, I think, when I actually got my SAG card and started working. The only way to connect with people at that time was to call them on a hard line phone that was hardwired into the wall, or a phone booth.
Right.
The only way, like, I would bump into people at interviews and say, oh, do you want to go grab a drink? Sure. You would make a plan to meet somewhere at a time, and you would show up because there's no way to cancel.
Right.
Unless you call them and they had a phone message recorder that wasn't full. Happened all the time. You know it was full because, it was a tape, a little tape, and it would get full.
I remember those. Yeah.
Because you have somebody messing with you going, hey, I'm singing on your tape. I'm going to use up all your tape. You're like, don't do that, man.
Yeah.
So it was just a different way to connect. So I knew a lot of people. Oh yeah, I ran into a lot of people who are now huge, and we'd bump into each other in interviews. But hanging out, not so. I guess I did a little bit with people that are kind of huge, but it was more like just hanging out, and we did things differently in the '80s. I'm just going to stop there.
It seems like a lot of fun.
Some of the shit that I did in the '80s.
Yeah.
We were all doing it. We were out of our minds in the '80s, okay?
Yeah.
And so was the wardrobe. So was the padded shoulders and the clothes. Oh, yeah.
Okay, first of all, I think like probably the '80s has some of the most distinct, like you can tell when someone's from the '70s or the '80s, like immediately. Like especially bands. Like bands I feel like are hard to tell apart now. Like you're like, is that a roadie or is that one of the singers? I have no idea. But like, you know, in the '80s, everybody had their own unique like little look. Like they dressed like, you know, whatever it was. So it was cool.
Yeah.
Shoulder pads, I don't understand, but
punk rocker, they're like, what? The punk rockers had a specific look. The new romantics had a specific look. The ones who were into ska, they had a specific look. Remember Japan? Oh, I loved him. He was so like androgynous, very, very feminine. So hot. The rock and rollers. I was there when Guns N' Roses first launched, and actually I was getting into it. They were right above me playing at a club, but I was right in front arguing with a boyfriend at the time. Wow. I didn't even Axl Rose was right there spitting probably down on my head and probably thinking that guy need to fucking leave. And I was like, you look bad. No, I'm joking. It was actually the other way around.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I grew up with, like some legends.
Yeah.
Duran Duran. I think Duran Duran. It's legend.
Yeah.
You know, Sting, just some real like Lenny Kravitz. This is Madonna, Michael Jackson, you know.
Right.
Yeah. And Prince.
Oh.
Yeah, that's some crazy. Wow.
That's awesome. No, are you? You were just talking before about meeting William Shatner being kind of awkward, but back then, were you good at introducing yourself to people? Like no?
I am known for being that chokes on shit. And whenever I meet somebody who I think is amazing, okay, one of the first times would be Jack Nicholson in my sister's trailer. She was doing Witches Eastwick. I just showed up and I got in the trailer and she's, I have to go to wardrobe or something, or hair or whatever. And she left me in the trailer with them. Long story short, I somehow just kept putting my foot in my mouth every time I said something just stupid. And I finally just put an apple in my mouth to shut up. So what do you think happened? I took a big bite and I didn't chew very well, and I went down my windpipe and I ran back into the bathroom. Now I'm choking. And he's like, "You're gonna be okay." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. I'm good." So that was super fun. And my sister came back. He left to go to make, and I said to her, "Do not ever leave me alone again with anyone like that." And she goes, "What do you mean like that?" I go, "Like him." She's, "I know exactly who he is. I'm doing a movie with him." I'm like, "No, don't." She goes, "What did you do?" I go, "I don't want to talk about it." So later on, he said, "Your sister is very," he goes, "I like your sister. She's very eccentric," or something. No, not eccentric. He said, "I like your sister," or something like, he goes, "I like your sister. She's got a lot of idiosyncrasies," or something like, yeah.
Oh
And
my
I was like,
God.
"Okay, that's pretty much, yeah." And then I met Sting. I was on antibiotics. I wasn't drinking. So I was drinking water. I went to shook his hand. And Trudy, I believe his wife's name.
Hmm.
I'm a mad Sting fan. I chugged the water because I was nervous. And what do you think happened to the water? It goes down my air pipe, pretty much the same spot that the apple went down.
Right.
And I start coughing again, but almost on he and his wife. I turn around, my friend's like, "Oh God, there she goes." She just, oh wow. And she's walking up the line. And then who was the other one? There's one other person I met. Well, William Shatner. I finally said, "Hi, my name is DeDee Pfeiffer, and I just want to let you know I'm just a huge fan. I just really love the unexplained and I wanted to talk about paranormal. That's what I wanted to talk to him about, dude. I'm all over that shit, right?
Yes,
And that
absolutely.
he is too. He was on Ancient Aliens, my favorite show. I mean,
Yeah.
well, yeah. And so I was thinking, am I on a series right now? Oh yeah, I'm not. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he was very tired, very busy. He'd been there all day, and he goes, "Oh, thank you." And he kind of looked down at his phone, like, "I'm done."
Hmm.
Okay. And I was like, "Oh no, this is awkward. How am I supposed to leave now?" He literally kind of just was like, "Oh, thank you," and looked away.
Right.
And I went, "Oh no." So I went, "I'm David Kelly's sister-in-law." Yes, I did.
Oh,
I have
that's great.
never used a Michelle card that I remember. Maybe when I was drunk I did, but I never used the Michelle card. But boy, when it comes to the paranormal, the unexplained, anything like that, that I just turns me on. And Williams in that crowd,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I need to pull the guns out." And I know that he worked with David, so
Yeah.
then he looks up. "Oh, David, here, come here, sit down. How is he? Oh, does he still have that guy?" And I thought, "Oh, I am so in. I am in."
Yeah.
But now I know how to weasel my way back to. So can we talk about the paranormal?
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
understand. So we talk about David and fishing, how amazing. Oh, I love David. And how is he? Yeah, and this and that. And I was like, "Yeah, okay, well, thank you so much. I just wanted to say that you're just really amazing." Thank you. Oh, yeah, please give David my love. I said, "Yeah, you got it." I walked away going, "God damn it. I didn't get to talk about aliens and paranormal,
Oh
supernatural."
man.
And I once again kind of made an ass myself. "I'm David and Kelly's sister-in-law." DeDee, really? Really? Did that just come flying from your body?
That's what you have to
I
do
told my sister,
sometimes. Like the amount of times I've done that, like where I'm like, I could tell this person I am friends with and know somebody else. But it is that instant thing. Some people are very friendly and they'll respect that you're both in the same industry or whatever it is. And
yeah,
some people, when they do that phone thing, you just got to start naming it. You're like, I gotta, and it does. It changes in an instant, which is a bummer that it's
yeah.
like that, but it's true.
Yeah, he clearly, thank God he loves and adores David. Because what if he had I didn't know what his relationship with him was. I just took a shot in the dark and thought, well, I got to pull out the guns here. And I hope to God, because what if he and David hated each other and goes, "David," I mean, it could have been really bad.
Yeah.
But
It's like
thank God
that's
he went,
not
"David, oh, how is he? Sit down." All of a sudden I was in. Will he remember my name? No, probably not. But I remembered William Shatner's name, and I still watched Unexplained. But that, yeah,
yeah.
I've made, yes,
No,
I'm
that's a
known
great
for
show.
being.
I have to nerd out a little bit. I know I've talked to you about it before, but I'm a huge Supernatural fan. I love that show. And
And
I
I was on
yes, and
this.
you were on Super that's like I that is probably like the only like biggest geek moment for me would be that you were on Supernatural and got to work with those dudes. And then I think you had told me that you had figured out recently that you'd worked with Jensen Ackles like more than you thought you did, right?
Well,
Like
yeah, uh,
it was like
so
3 or
deep.
4. Yeah. But like that is like I mean, but you're a huge
We worked
Supernatural like
every
did you know
time.
what did you know about that
No,
show before you were on it?
no,
Oh,
I
okay.
am notorious. I am notorious being guest stars on shows and never having watched them. Or back in the day, we would actually get interviews. They would call you on the phone. Here we go again. There's that thing, and you would go to your agency. You would drive, and they would, if you can get there before they close, you would get a piece of paper with the breakdown and the script. If you're lucky, you got the script and the sides. Then you would drive home and you'd work on it, and then you'd go to your appointment and you'd go in and read. These are the old days. And so often I rarely even had TV because I couldn't afford it. I lived kind of in the mountains in the Hollywood Hills, and you needed cable, and I couldn't afford it. So I didn't really watch a lot of stuff. They're like, DeDee, you got to watch your shows. You know what you're doing. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. So I would go to my friend's house and watch it. If I had like an interview for, like, say, Seinfeld, I would watch. I went and watched it. Friends, I watched it. Ellen, I watched it. We'll watch it on people's and I never even heard of Supernatural, but my agent was like, "Oh, it's a big show." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I believe you, whatever." So that one they offered it to me because the producer worked with me before.
Oh.
But I know, you just never have any idea when you do these things what's going to end up exploding, what's going to just carry with you. Those my Supernatural fans are amazing. They're right up there with my Vamp fans, my Seinfeld fans, Big Sky fans. I mean, I got some fans that I got a lot, but they're solid. They're like really like solid. They really.
And it was a great episode you were in. Like, that's a great fucking episode. And that was still kind of like earlier on too, when they were like, all the storylines were just on point. They had like, I mean, like that show was the guys who made that show were very good. It was on for 15 seasons, but like they had this ability. Yeah, exactly. But they had this ability to, like, like each season definitely had like a through line. You know what I mean? Like they knew the plot, but they would also fill it with like some seasons of shows have filler episodes that are just like, oh, this sucks, but theirs were always fun because the characters were so good, and they could still make the stories, because the supernatural realm is like endless. You know what I mean? There's like different monsters and different demon, like, and all this other crap. So it was just super interesting to see. But your episode was fucking amazing, and I just remember being like, oh my god, this is so fucking cool.
Thank you. I have no memory when I have no memory of a lot of things I did. Jensen, I saw him on it was funny because they said, "Hey, we got this great actor for the third season." I said, "Oh, who?" And they go, "Jensen Ackles." I go, "Oh, who's that?" And they go, "Oh, he was on the show called Supernatural." And I go, "I think I was on that." And they're like, "What do you mean think?" I go, "Have you seen my resume? I've been doing it for 40 years. It's like a Pora scroll. It just keeps going and going. I had to take shit off of it because it was just like, okay, this is ridiculous. I keep my knees are going to sleep. So here, I'm going to move it down here. I know I'm getting old, dude. There we go. Oh, now you're even more what's going on back here. Okay, there we go.
No, it's great.
Oh, that's much better. Why didn't I just start the interview out like this? Jesus. So because sometimes I just do things. Well, first of all, I was on my phone and that didn't happen. So, anyways, they said, and I said, oh, and then I Googled myself on IMDb and looked at my resume, and sure enough, there it was, Supernatural.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, and I thought, I have no memory. Oh, I said, oh, no, I do. I kind of remember it. So when I saw him on the set in the trailer, I said, hey, Jim. He goes, hey, DeDee, how are you? And I gave him a big hug, pretending like I remembered. And he goes, yeah, you were on the show. I go, yeah, that's what I hear. And he goes, what, you don't remember? I go, no, I don't have a clue. All I remember is I think I bit your face, and blood was like nasty, like and sweet. And he goes, no, you bit my brother's face, and then I blew your head off. And then demon babies. And I went, I did? And he goes, and that was a huge pivotal episode. I said, damn, I'm good. He goes, yeah, you were. I said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that's how I met him on Big Sky, and it gets better. So I say, dude, I need more followers. He goes, come here, give me your camera. So he does a selfie with me. He goes, now we're going to get you some followers. I go,
nice.
Thank you, Dad. Yeah. So then one of the followers says, hey, you guys worked together before. One of my followers said, you guys worked together on Cybill. And they screenshotted a picture of he and I looking like 8 years old, and I guess I looked 15 or something, on, Cybill. And I went, holy shit. I went to work. I said, Jen, we worked together before. He goes, yeah, I know, I'm big on Supernatural. I said, no, before that. He goes, get the fuck out. I go, look. And he goes, oh my God, that was I just got to Hollywood. I remember doing that. He goes, oh
Wow.
shit, that was you. I did a scene with you. And I go, and look at you, you're like 8. And I'm like 15. But we had no memory. We had literally not only
That's
worked together,
crazy.
we were together.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
why I
that's
love fans. They have better memories. They're far more conscious. They keep track of your shit. They remind you of stuff you should not forget.
yeah, absolutely. And you've done so many great comedies too. Like you just said, you did Ellen, you did Seinfeld, you did Friends, stuff like that. Do you prefer one to the other? Do you like, I know you were saying before, like you do love making people laugh because it's sad times and stuff, but like as an actor, like do you lean more towards the comedy stuff? Do you feel like, or do you switch it up like whenever you want?
I absolutely adore all of it as long as,
Hmm.
yeah, I like all. I
That's
actually love
cool.
all of it. I really,
Because you're great.
yeah,
The comedy stuff you've nailed. Like every time I've seen you in a comedy, I'm like, oh my God, this is so great.
you. I will say, even though I do love it all, I think more so now than ever, I'm gravitating towards comedy, but for different reasons.
Hmm.
Because back in the day, remember I told you drama actors were serious, the serious actors, okay? And they
Yeah.
were movies,
Yeah.
comedy and TV and commercial. We were just, like I said, filler.
Sure.
So I come from that mentality, even though I know it's bullshit and it's certainly no longer true. Oh my God, it's the first thing from the truth.
Hmm.
It's still kind of a teeny bit in there in me. So there for a while, I would gravitate towards drama because I wanted to be a serious actor, all that. Not a
Right.
drama actor, but be taken seriously as an actor.
Hmm.
Now, because the world is such a complicated, crazy ass place
Sure.
that I'm very drawn to comedy because I think laughing is healing. I
Yeah.
think it feels to smile and laugh when after you watch the fucking news or you
Yeah.
see what's going on in the world and somebody can give you a little bit of peace, a little bit of hope, a little bit of laughter, some kind of light. I'm all for. So if I
Yeah.
could spend the rest of my career doing that in a comedy or a podcast or a commercial, I don't know. I'm available, by the way. Just tell your peeps on the East Coast that Miss Pfeiffer is available.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. We
know
should do
that.
some stuff together. That'd be fun.
Oh my God, let's do it for sure. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Now that you're over, I was so excited when you said you moved over here. I was like, get the fuck out of here. That's awesome.
Yep. I took a huge plunge. Can't tell you where I'm living because, like I said, some people are,
Oh, no. Yeah. Wait, we can save that for later, but
just say this. I picked up my life and I moved out of California
right.
to a state that has seasons. I have geese behind me and ducks behind me.
Hmm.
I don't have furniture. But I got what I love more than anything. I got land, and I don't own. I'm still renting,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that's okay. If I'm gonna rent, I'd rather rent somewhere like this where I have land and animals and things that keep me peaceful
Yeah.
inside and connected to Mother Earth. The city was just slowly killing me. It was slowly killing me and
I don't
financially
blame you.
gouged, right? And I think
Yeah.
you and I talked about this. I just thought, well, hell, if I have to rent, I'm going to go rent somewhere else where I can get land and actually have my rent be cheaper
Yeah.
and have well water, which I'm not even paying for water, which I love, and take a little bit of a break. Still continuing looking for a job, of course,
Sure.
but I
Sure.
don't have that constant angst from the city and being unemployed and just all the noise.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
I
yeah.
call all
No,
the
I
noise.
completely agree. And I love all the natural lighting. I mean, it's just this room I can see, but like I can tell like you've got a lot of nice natural lighting in there, so that's awesome.
My ring light, which by the way, that's why I was a little late getting on because
Oh no.
my son goes, "Come on!" I said, "John, we'll wait. I have to get my ring light going on. It's my new
I
purchase.
You know me.
That
I'll
ring
wait.
light's right." I go, "The
No, I
ring
get
light's
it.
going to get me employed." My boys are nothing to do with the industry, so they're like, "You are so weird." I'm like, "You don't understand.
No,
I
people
know
don't.
what I'm doing.
My
You don't
one of
compute."
one of my buddies is doing like the tech stuff for like the MS bed. Like he's helping me like really kind of set up. That's why there's like a thing in the background because we're just reforming my office. So like when I actually wind up doing the benefit, it's gonna look completely different and there's gonna be some stuff going on. So it's nice. We're trying, to to make it a little bit more snazzy for the 24 hours. 24 hours again. I don't know why I'm doing 24. I mean, it's fun, it's a good thing, but like I'm tired now. Like I'm not staying up for like I'm just like, what do you why you yeah, why? But anyway.
Last time you had me on, I think it was 8 or 9 o'clock. But I was late because I misunderstood East Coast, West Coast, or something. I don't know what I
Yeah.
did, but I realized, oh shit, I'm supposed to be on now. I threw my red lips on, grabbed the coffee, and threw myself in front of the camera. And then you had all the other guests, and it was hysterical. But I remember thinking, he does this for 24 hours. You pulled me off my heating pad at 8 o'clock at night, and I was so done. Remember, all I talked about was my heating pad.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's right over here. It's right
Oh,
over
nice.
here. The minute I'm done with this, Mom will be on that heating pad. Yes, it's getting that time of life where she just loves her heating pad. And but I was like, how does he do 24 hours? Is he on crack or something? Or I don't think crack keeps you up. Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Sparta, she's about to invade this. Here,
But
hi, honey.
Last year I know I did it. I think, oh my God, I love her. Look at her.
She does the stuff.
What a good dog. What a good girl.
Look at her butt. She's a hard
Yeah,
butt.
she's like, yeah. Animals love showing their ass to the camera. I don't know what it is, but they're just like,
butt.
Yep,
Where all the
check it. Yeah, last year that benefit was a fucking blast. You and Colin and Emily, and then were you on when Jerry Casale from Devo came on too? I think you were because you guys were talking about him.
Well,
it was.
I think you guys started talking about.
You guys started talking
what
about
did
some kind of butt thing from the 80s or something like that. It was like we went off the rails. Like it was
yeah.
It was great.
I think Colin was looking at me like, she's very strange. This is a very odd woman. I don't know who she is, but she's odd, and I might like her and think she's funny or not. I could tell like the jury was very confused.
He liked you though. Like we've talked about, he and I have talked about you, and he loves you. He thinks it's great.
I'll just bust in on his and go, you thought you got rid of me last year, didn't you?
That would be so much fun. Yeah, I've got a time and everything for you too, so we'll go over that.
Don't tell him. I'll do my own hour, but like I'll bust in and be like, hey, what's up? Last year we talked about books. This year we're going to talk about penises. You gonna whip it out? Let's go, bro. He's a comedian. He can handle it.
He can handle it. He can absolutely handle it.
Oh God, she needs to be stopped.
Oh my God, I just laughed so hard. That was great. I'm going to ask you the last 3 questions I ask every guest on the show. So everybody's answered these questions. First one, a little bit of a softball question, but it gets us going. So if you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, what piece of advice would you give yourself that would help you today?
Oh God, that might make me cry. Oh wow. No matter what, you're going to be okay.
Beautiful.
And you have to believe that in your heart. No matter what, ignore the noise, keep your poise, and know in your heart you're going to be okay.
Lovely. I love that. Second question is, what had to end in your life, good or bad, that led you to where you are today?
What ended?
Yeah, what had to end, good or bad, but it led you to where you were today? I know.
You know I've been divorced 3 times, right?
If that's fine.
No, listen, that's messed up. I'm not doing that. I'm not that person. I'm not. Listen, I married 3 great guys and it didn't work out. We just weren't met for each other, you know?
Yeah.
You know, when you're dating, they don't bring out the best in you and vice versa. Maybe it's not a person thing. Maybe it's a couple thing. Maybe it's water and olive oil, right? So absolutely. I'm not going there. What had to end, to good or bad, to make my life better?
To lead you where you are today.
Quitting drinking,
okay,
and smoking. Because with taking out these 2 huge addictions out of my life that I was leaning on pretty heavy, I had to replace it with something else. And what I was able to replace it with was my spirituality, my enlightenment, and all these paranormal, supernatural. My life now, I'm more curious than ever versus resistant.
Ooh.
Because I try to keep, not beautiful, curious
Yeah.
versus resistant. And my sobriety, my enlightenment, my spirituality, and others. And I love being part of this new movement right now of people really saying we're pushing away the noise. We're not falling for the crap, the negativity, the hate. We're not doing it. And we're not doing it. We are going to continue on with light and love.
Yeah.
And that has to overpower because it's stronger and bigger and better than and stronger than hate. It just is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be a part of that. And every day, I really try to make sure every day I'm a part of that on some level or to some degree.
Yeah. Nice. I love that. That's a great answer. And the last question ties into the theme of the show. So, it's called Dystopia Tonight. If this was a genuine dystopia, more so than it feels currently, and you woke up tomorrow and it was everybody's last day on Earth, what do you think would be the cause? Do you think it'd be climate change, a comet, political collapse, alien zombies? And how would you want to go out? What would be your epic death?
Well, first, I don't believe in death. Okay.
Oh.
See this Egyptian ankh?
Oh, that's
This means
awesome.
eternity.
Oh, that's
Egyptian
great.
ankh. You see Egyptians, look at any pictures, you see them all carrying, or they have this. It's an Egyptian ankh, eternity. There is no such thing as death. Now,
Great.
but I do know what you're talking about, and there are a lot of people talking about something is going to happen. There's even people who are not religious, nothing.
Yeah.
Or like something feels like something's going to happen.
Right.
And I believe it's true, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I think something has monumentally happened to Mother Earth, our planet, and I think those who are enlightened and have good thoughts in their brain and mind and love in their heart and have stand behind that against all odds, no matter what, and choose to be part of the solution and the light and the love, whether that's religion, spirituality, or just because you're a good person, you got some good DNA, you're going to fare well. And those who don't are probably not going to make it. And I don't know what that means. Whether those of us will go to another level of frequency and energy and what have you, and those maybe have to be reincarnated. And I don't know, maybe come back as a fly, which we fucked up because we all like smack those things around like they're like nothing. No, I know people who get violently, like they see a fly and they get violent. Like
the ones that bite, I get it. The greenheads, the ones that bite. Ugh.
No, but I know people who just get like, "Hey, listen, I gave to charity. Oh my God, it's a fly! Wah-pa! And then just blood all over the wall." You're like, "You were just telling me a story about charity, and you just pulverized." I mean, I get it. I'm not a fan of flies either, but Jesus Lord.
Yeah.
But so I do think something might be. I'm not doom and gloom, by the way, at all. I just think that there is going to be a monumental change. I'm not quite sure what that looks like. I have some ideas, some hypotheses. I listen to other people, and I'm kind of like, "Oh, that kind of sounds like that might be right."
Yeah.
But I do know that as long as those of us who, like I said, are on a frequency of love and light are going to fare through it, and those not are going to. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen, but I don't think that. I think there's still plenty of time to jump on the light bandwagon. For those who are carrying a hate in your heart, you can always change, right?
Yeah.
That's going to happen. I absolutely believe it's other intelligence is going to present itself, and things are going to turn around upside down. I don't doubt that for a minute. I think that if you look at, you don't have to go far to look at evidence of more intelligent life than us. Listen, how about this? If we're the most intelligent life in all universes in the entire galaxy, I'm scared.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of ways, we're dumb as doorknobs. Look what we're doing to our planet. Come on, that's not a smart thing.
Right.
The very thing that gives us the most beautiful things and gives us life, we're slowly killing.
Yeah.
For greed and for stupid reasons. It's like, oh, well, you have to. I'm like, no, you don't have to.
No. ...
Come on now, let's just.
Absolutely.
You don't swallow that. I mean, if you want to swallow it, that's fine. I did for a long time. It's cool. You do you, but I'm not swallowing it anymore. more. I know that we can do better. We can do better. And we are starting to do better, by the way. People are starting to make huge changes, and I love that. And
Yeah, it
it's
feels like
important
it.
to know they're out. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's important to know they're out there. Otherwise, you have no hope.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
really think we're going to blow ourselves up, and that's the end of it. I believe that higher intelligence is not going to let us do that for
No,
sure. They've already
no.
over nukes,
I agree.
right?
I hope you're right.
Yeah, whistleblowers have said that they have flown over missiles sites
Oh,
around the
Jesus
world
Christ.
and shut them down.
That's nice. That'd be great. I would love to see more of that.
Isn't that comforting?
It
Most people are
is.
scared of that. I said, no, here's the thing. They did something that we can't do. They have to be individually shut down.
Yeah.
They shut them down all at once for a short amount, a couple minutes, then turned them back on and flew away.
Crazy.
The men that were filming them are the whistleblowers who are reporting this. Why would they say that and be considered crazy people?
Right.
And they're not multiple people who have confirmed this.
Right.
Why would they do that? To
Yeah.
go on a show like that or whatever and then be ridiculed by people who don't believe?
Yeah.
These are highly credited people with, like I said, not awards, but look at me, I'm such an actor. They have, what do you call bad? No, what do like lieutenants and
Oh, yeah.
high up.
The higher ranking officials. Yeah.
Yeah, these people have credentials.
I watched a couple of those.
But I'm always telling you, I'm like,
I know.
watch it, dude. You got to watch.
I know. Yeah. I love when you call me with some new shit and I'm like, oh, fuck. Because you find stuff that I don't even like. I look for it and you found stuff that I have not even seen. So it's pretty good. You sent me that one video and I watched it. Oh my God. I can't remember the name of it, but I was.
Oh, was it Stephen Greer?
That's it.
Yeah, the CE.
Very
yeah,
cool.
The CE. Yeah, and
you should get him. I'd love for you guys to talk. You should get him on your podcast.
Are you kidding me? I would lose. It would be another William Shatner moment. Don't have any liquid or food around me when I meet him or I'll just choke on my own spit, I guess, because I'll be like,
oh my God.
Like,
you're the best.
Stroke or something right there
Seriously.
on the spot. Yeah, no, his work is phenomenal, actually, and you could try to discredit him, but watch. What the heck is it called? Anyways, if you watch his documentary on it, you have to disprove a lot of information, a lot,
right?
And they're using the scientific method, and they're doing the same thing with the Secrets of Skywalker Ranch. They're using the scientific method.
Oh,
and
heard about
that are very unexplained, which is again exciting. Now I'm not going to say some of this government, of course it is, but where'd they get it?
Yeah.
Engineering.
Absolutely.
Come on, it's not. But it's
well, I know you'll keep me posted, and I know if anything's going down, I'll be hearing it from you first. So I'm glad.
That's right.
I love you. I'm so glad you did this. I'm so glad we got to do this too.
I love you too, John. Hey, let's do something special, like you know how they do miniseries on shows. We should do like a mini podcast, like a chunk of 6.
Oh my God!
And then and have it revolve around something really fun, and we'll bring some people on, and we'll have my dog in the background being incredibly entertaining right now.
I would love to do that. We should absolutely work on something together. That'd be a lot of fun.
Have your followers and mine come up with some ideas, and we'll do it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, please, guys, toss us some ideas, especially any kind of supernatural, ghosty shit. Like I'm down to do any of it. We should have our own ghost hunting show.
Actually, that's something I would love to do in a second. Actually,
yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I would do that in a heartbeat. Yeah,
let's do it. This is 2024. I moved across the United States. I've left everything behind. I have no furniture. Let's do it.
Let's fucking do it. I have no furniture. Let's do it. I'm absolutely down to do that. That'd be amazing.
Oh, you guys, thank you for being you. I appreciate you.
Dystopia tonight.